In this interview, I'm going to be interviewing Rith Chum. Rith is an amazing remedial therapist from Sydney. His business is called Movement Origin, and he is just an amazing practitioner when it comes to being very practical. He loves to do assessment. He works with a lot of different clients, particularly in the sports space, as well as Gen Pop. He calls them the general population as well. And so what Ruth is going to do is share a story of how he went from a solo practitioner to now leading a team of two amazing therapists, what it's taken for him to get there, and how he's gone from charging very small amount of money to a very large amount of money in a very short space of time. I love Ruth because he's so incredibly determined. He just finds what he wants and he sticks to it like a dog with a bone. And I know that this case study is going to be really helpful for anyone that might have a similar temperament and might be like very headstrong, feel like you know or think that you know exactly what you need, and yet is looking for something else entirely, which is why you might be listening to this case study. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Ruth is quite open. I love his vulnerability that you're going to hear as we enter this case study. Yeah, and I really look forward to sharing the amazing learnings that you're going to get from this. Welcome, Ruth. It's beautiful to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We'd love to hear a little bit about your background as a practitioner and who you help in your clinic.
So my name is Rith. I have a clinic in Northwest Sydney, and we help a lot of pro, semi-pro. Majority of it is athlete, and about 30% of my clientele is your Gen Pop, your soccer moms, and at the moment we are a team of 3, and we provide assessments, a lot of modality, including dry needling, cupping, and also we help clients educate them about their body, giving them movement intervention as well to help manage their pain.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's beautiful to hear the passion that comes through when you're talking about these beautiful people as well. Let's talk a bit about where were you before you started having coaching? Like, why did you choose to start having business coaching?
I think I was hitting a bit of a wall, like plateau, and I wasn't going anywhere. There was no sense of direction. And I was very reactive to things like, okay, looking at that week was quiet, let's do something, let's do something. And then a busy week, oh, this is great. We don't have to do anything. So it was very reactive. There's no system, there's no foundation in place. And that's why I see you guys and seek help.
So what have been your biggest wins so far?
The biggest win early on would have been mindset. Would have been mindset. Like again, I used to be so reactive, being proactive, rocking up, following the 20/80 rules, steps to success, hitting their quarterly goals, and then widely important goals was a huge things for me to learn. That was initially, and then the biggest win I would say now, the hardest thing that I have done, the most challenging thing that I've done so far was the price increase. So I've been in the industry for 4 years. It might seem short, might seem long for some, but I started at $75, and then I went to 85, and then I went to 105, which is a lot of resistance there. And then I recently went from 105 to 160, and that was the hardest, and I would say the biggest win so far. Not not the number side of thing. It was more so it was so hard to do. I have to go through. It's not a one time or two time thing. You have to go through each client. Every time was hard to do,
Mm.
and it was took a lot over me. And I'm sure out of that, there was a lot of growth involved.
Yeah.
So
So
I
what
would
was the
say.
resistance for you? Like going from $75 an hour, which lots of people listening will feel very comfortable about that number, to then like, what did you say, 160?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In a matter of about 18 months. Yeah.
No, so in roughly 4 years from 75 to 105, was about 3 years, but then 105 to 160 was roughly one year. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So what's the resistance that came up for you? What was some of those internal mindset challenges that you faced when you decided I'd go from 105 to 160?
I guess it's the same as everyone else. We had the fear of losing them, the fear of what they're gonna think, what if, a lot of what if. I guess it's a lot of the what if and uncertainty. There's massive uncertainty that comes with it.
Yeah.
Especially it's out of ordinary. If I were to go from 105 to 125, it would still be a lot of resistance, but it's smaller uncertainty. But from 105 to 160, I don't think anyone that I know have done that before. So it was a huge thing for me to do, and I did it. So I'm so proud of it. Credit to you guys. It was last retreat in the Heroes boardroom. You, Christine, everyone was really pressing me. Amy really helped out in the mind, and Anita. Amy and Anita will really help out in the mindset side of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what was the response and reaction once you moved through that internal resistance yourself? What was the response with your clients? How did they respond to that? Did everyone leave? Did you go broke? Like, because that's really one of the biggest fears, other than being judged. That's the biggest fear. It's like, I'll be judged and everyone will leave. Yeah. So, what's been the experience of moving through those mindset challenges and moving through that resistance?
So every single day, like once I started making decision to go through it, every single day that I think, oh, I might have 3 clients that I have to go through that day, and I come home to my missus, I'm like, "Babe, I did it. 3 clients, 3 more clients. They didn't say anything. They still rebooked." And then it's like it was a 2 month process, and every single day I celebrate, like, oh yes, they didn't say so. Only two dropped out. One changed to my junior therapist, and probably about 20% kind of adjust to their budget. So okay, we can't come every 3 weeks. Let's do 4 weeks. And yeah, I would say I wouldn't never expect that turnout, honestly. Honestly, like it was amazing.
Yeah. So all but two of your client base across a 2 month period said yes and readjusted based on their own financial situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
There's no, I don't get a single complaints, like complaints. One said, "Oh, that's a bit too much," but still, he still come every 2 weeks. He's a really good client. It was a shock to him. The other clients, a lot of my clients work at like consulting. They understand all this. They consult other big companies and stuff, and they actually gave me gave me more advice. They said, "Look, you've done that. What's the churn rate? Now you should be planning for your next price increase. What's the strategy around that?" And I said, "Well, I, I don't even think about that." So it was really good.
yeah, that's phenomenal. And like for you, when you joined the program, did you find it really easy to ask for help and accept help?
Yes. It just felt like, as you know, starting out as a sole trader is very lonely process if you don't have um, someone that either in the industry or in the business. You just kind of just winging it most of the time. So having you guys did help out a lot. I can jump on the Facebook group, ask everyone, and then they very supportive of it. Or I can send you direct message and you would respond really quickly and really helpful in terms of guiding me through each of the process, and also some harsh reality moment where you're just like, nah, that's not gonna work. I love those moments where you're like, nah, what you're thinking is delusional, almost like you make it sound like that, and that's helpful. That has been really helpful.
But there was a time where you wanted to drop out of the program. Yeah,
Yes.
because I just literally remember there was a time where you're like, this isn't working. I want out. I've got it all. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, what was it that caused that, and how did you overcome that to be where you are now?
Yeah. Initially, it was a lot of ego. I was like, okay, what am I going to learn from you, from other people, from, I was still felt out of place. It's at my first retreat. I'm like, okay, the first day, let's book it because I promise you I'm going to be there. I think it was at Brisbane. Promise you I'm going to be there. I booked the ticket. The first day I'm there, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of mindset stuff. I'm already doing it. Why would I spend 3 days sitting and spending my energy here while I can just go explore Brisbane and then do my own planning and then still have other times to do other stuff. I was standing there in front of this mirror at the where I stayed in Brisbane. Really had to think hard. Should I go tomorrow? It's like the two side of me was just fighting, which is fighting. Should I go tomorrow? Oh, probably not. What am I gonna learn? And then the other side was just like, not yet. I just hear the voice. Not yet. Don't quit yet. You're not there yet. And then I just like, okay, well, let's just show up. Let's just show up. And I think the first day of that retreat, Christine did talk about shame shield, but it didn't hit me hard yet until the second day, until I know, wow, I didn't want to show up. And that shame shield hit me really hard. And that could be the second biggest learning in my journey with you guys was I actually do have a lot of shame shield without knowing about it, there's no awareness about it until I actually overcome it and seeing it through. I think after that, where I felt more connected to you, more connected to the crew, more connected to everyone else. And that's where the decision to continue with the program was easy. When I actually understand that there's a massive shame shield that always been dragging me away from opportunity, dragging me away from growing, dragging me away from doing things that I haven't done before that would take me to become the person the ideal person that I'm going to be. So that was that. And thank you, Alicia, for having that call and not letting me go and having my shame shield. You took that away from me. So you can have that. That was it. If that's your that does that answer the question? I know
Yeah,
I'm rambling a bit.
hugely. No, hugely answers the question. And look, we love mindset, and sometimes we make the joke in the course that, oh, by the way, we do business coaching. The thing is that we can't run a business in isolation. Many of us as solo operators are so used to being independent. It's like, I can do it myself. And there's kind of like a significance that comes with that. Like, I've got the answers. I know how to find them. I can do everything myself. I use the analogy: you stick your undies on the outside of your pants, you put your massage tail around you like a Superman cape, and you're like, I've got this. And but the truth is that we can't run in isolation. You can't run a business in isolation because you have to work with people. Like we actually have to be able to work with people. And if we have stuff that gets in the way, we can't work effectively with people. And if we can't work effectively with people, then we can't grow our client base, and we can't get staff, and we can't relate to people on whether it's with partners or family or friends. Like, we can't do any of that stuff. And so people will often be like, I don't need the mindset stuff. I just need the business stuff, which is why it has to be both. It's not a life coaching program. It's both, because without the business strategies, you can't hire staff, raise your prices, etc. But it comes from, at the start, it begins with the mindset. And like you said, like often we have these shields that we put up that will prevent us from creating deep connection. And it's the deep connection that, exactly like you said, these are the people that help me get this result. Like you listed a bunch of names of people who actually helped you to put your prices up, or helped to find the internal certainty you required in order to take that action, which can't happen if we're preventing people from helping us. Like it sounds so woo-woo, this mindset stuff. And yet, when we unpack it, and thank you for answering that question, because it's not on script at all. I didn't send that question through. It just kind of came to me. I thought, I'll just ask. And the reason I asked it, and I'm grateful for the answer, is not just so that those that listen to this case study go, wow, this course is amazing, because it is. The purpose is for you to hear the power of when we work on the stuff that comes up for us and we move through it, it creates amazing results and outcomes. And it has to be both. If all we did was mindset, no one would get results. If all we did was business, no one would get sustainable results. Because I think together, we get sustainable results by working on the stuff that comes up from it. And it's courageous work. It's not easy. We don't just fly to another state and make a decision every day. Am I going to show up today or not? Like, that's not easy, especially to then work on the S word. Did he mention shame? Is that actually, yeah. This courageous man went just gung-ho into that and learnt how to actually navigate it, because shame needs three things: silence, secrecy, and judgment. And it cannot survive with empathy. And so every day when you stepped into a room with empathetic coaches and empathetic people, it's like the wrestle is almost, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, I feel these things and I'm experiencing this, but these people are not, and that's scary stuff. And that's when the rubber hits the road. And testament to you and your courage for coming back every day in order to have that breakthrough.
Yeah. It's massive, actually. Now that I don't know why I remember the first day, the first retreat that I did was actually online, and this is just to give a scale of how far I've come in terms as a person, when the mindset and everything else combined. The first day of the retreat, I can see my name's there, Ruth, and then I think James was going through like people's turns to give feedbacks about what you've learned and stuff. And I was sitting there. I didn't have my camera on. I didn't have my mic on. And then Jay was like, "Rick, you up?" And I was just sitting there. I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm just gonna listen." Yeah. Oh, it seems like seems like it's not there. But I was actually still in front of the camera. To now hiring staff and like sitting in the meeting with them, like, "Oh, you guys got to be able to sell. You got to do this. Try holding the space." And then they said, I'm not like you. I'm not as good with people, business side. And then it kind of made me realize that used to be me. That was me when I used to work for people. Like, oh, how can I be like the manager? And then that just give you people the scale of where I've come and how big my shame shield was, to now having to courage to do the price increase and actually go out there and enjoying it, meeting, nourishing the relationships. And every time I go to the gym floor now, like putting a table there, I just have fun. I could go 3 hours on the gym floor and it's just fun. It's just really fun, and everything just coming to the right place, and it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it does. Like when we have the courage to be vulnerable, it is the birthplace of creativity and joy. Like, and it's not logical, like it's so illogical. How does going to a conference, business conference, and talking about change, how does that? But then and the truth is that this is what the work Brené Brown talks about, is this is it working out in reality. You deal with the mucky stuff so that you can have better results, a more successful life, which is not just more money, it's more money and it's greater levels of connection with others. Yeah. And that's beautiful. That's really, really, really special. And it's just a joy. It's a joy to be able to witness that journey.
Yeah, no, it has been amazing.
Oh, that's cool. So, look, I think you've kind of covered it, but I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you anyway. So, what has been your experience with the program throughout the time that you've been in Six Figure, and then the alumni program?
It was the support. I think the support, I'm not gonna be able to get it anywhere in the world. The support from people that have done it, people that are doing it, and people are thinking about doing it. And it's just so many different perspectives, and everyone's just heading the same direction. That's what I like the most about the program is everyone just is growth. There's growth, and it's one of my values. Main values is growth. So there's no one there to in the program, doesn't want to grow. Everyone want to grow in their own lane and ready to help other people as well. And that would be the main thing. The main thing is the growth part of the program with everyone coming in with different perspectives, and they are happy to share.
Yeah. It makes a massive difference when it's like you're all swimming in the same direction. That so the
Yeah,
momentum that you're jumping into it's just there. It's like a river and everyone's just flowing. And it's like it's okay to be in different parts of the river. There's no one part that's better than another. And when everyone is heading in the one direction, it just makes showing up easier, more fun, and it's great. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, what results have you seen so far in relation to? So, we've got our three amazing M's: mindset, marketing, and mechanics.
the biggest result that I had to mindset is probably the proactive versus reactive, and not letting external factors affect you. So looking at your booking this week where it's a bit quieter than usual, don't let that block your vision. So that would be, yeah, having the vision was really crucial. So keeping you resilient and just moving towards your vision was huge. So yeah, in a simple term, proactive, following the vision, and not reactive, following the quiet week. That would be the biggest win in terms of the mindset. The biggest result in regards to the mechanics would be just like the normal stuff, the foundation and system. Sounds very, very simple, but oh my gosh, it took so long. And yeah, as a sole trader, you have everything in your mind, and to be able to slowly put it down on paper and refining it at the same time and making sure it works is, yeah, I didn't know that like my tonality changes through treating clients and then change to clinical talk. My tonality changed, and I put that in the system as well towards the end. Like little things like that, putting in the system is huge. And that would be the mechanic and side of the results that I've got. System and foundation. I can't emphasize how important it is. And without joining the program, I would not have known how to put that into places, things into places. The biggest result that I've gotten in regards to the marketing was numbers, and it's kind of linking to who your avatar is and learning your target, your niche. And yeah, there's a lot of other stuff to it as well, but in terms of marketing would be I would actually say this. I would actually say it's me marketing myself. Like I've changed. Before, doesn't matter how many ads I run, if I'm not able to close to sell, I can get 20 clients, new clients a week. That wouldn't be good. So I would say, yeah, in terms of marketing would be myself. Now I go out, I can talk about my product very proudly and just, really, 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 we have to edit this out. It's just, yeah, I would say marketing would be me
Yeah.
and ability to sell my product and myself as well.
Yeah. And that's awesome. What's your massive vision for the next 12 months?
The next 12 months would be firm, still refining the system, letting the system automate a few things, making sure stuff filled up. And in 12 months, I would want a solid location with maybe 2 rooms and a movement area in the area.
It's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And what about it? Do you have any advice for people who might be further along in their journey that you've learned that you could share?
I would say don't make the same mistake that I've made, where letting your shame shield stopping you from growing. And sometimes it's hard, sometimes you're not aware of it. Sometimes just commit to a program like this would be very, very helpful to help you identify those barriers and actually help you push through it, because it's really, really hard to do it by yourself. As a human, we are very irrational. Doesn't matter who you are, doctor, dentist, massage therapist. We all very irrational, and then the way we think alone is not enough. It's good to have someone or some group of people that moving in the right direction and willing to help you. I think it's very, very powerful. So my advice would be work hard, avoid distraction, and find mentorship or mentors to guide you along the way, finding your vision and help you set guideline to move you towards your goal.
Love that. And what would you say to someone who is thinking about doing 6-figure and they're kind of on the fence, not really sure? What would you say?
I would say just sign up. Because chances are, if they're on the fence, the shame is already in front of them. So the first step to push through that is to commit, and you are word for word. I bet you anything you're gonna be identifying all these barrier that you've had, and with the program, Alicia, James, Christine, and everyone else would help you push through that barrier. And then you look back, you're like, whoa, okay. That decision should have been easier.
I love that. Ruth, thank you so much for not only your time, but also for sharing your story with us today. And just being able to express and communicate the growth that you've experienced over the last couple of years. It's just phenomenal to see. And it's an honor to have not only been able to witness it, but also to be able to sit with you today and just listen to the growth that you have gone on, the journey that you've been on. And so I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Alicia. Without your help, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much.